also, they did find her keys in her pocket, because a lot of people have been asking about that. Like, where are the car keys? Did they ever find that? Apparently, they found the car keys in a.
Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist and a licensed mental health counselor. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the contents in this channel. I'd like to start by saying that this is for entertainment purpose only. This clip that I just played is Grizzly True Crime, Grizzly, who's a YouTube creator. I love a lot of the work she does. She's quite professional. But when we are dealing with a very vulnerable case, a missing case, even if the person was found, our autopsy and the investigation is being done behind the scenes. And that is the case of Nicola Bulley. I'd love to start by giving my deepest condolence to her family, to her loved ones, to her friends, to her community, and this clip by Grizzly True Crime, she clearly said that Nicola Bulley's keys were found with her in a jacket, or was found in her ball with her human remains. Trigger warning. So I immediately ran to check the website, to Google up, to check if there's new information that has come out that I haven't been aware of. So I thought actually Nicola Bulley, may God rest her soul in peace. I assumed that her keys were found. When I Googled it and researched, it obviously turned out to be fake news. We are dealing with a very vulnerable case of a mother who had two daughters, who's left behind two beautiful daughters. A father is grieving for her mother, sister, partner, community, I guess, because facts are we still don't know what happened to Nicola Bulley. To start with, a couple of days ago, Grizzly True Crime came out with CCTV footage that caused even further speculations if that was Nicola Bulley, or speculations if it was Nicola's best friend Emma. The first CCTV footage we ever got in this case was from Sky News. It was from mainstream media news. And those were the CCTV footages that were put out by Lancashire police through Sky News, BBC News, Channel 5, ITV News, and many other major important news. After, it's all right, I believe, as a YouTube creator or as anyone, doesn't matter if you have a platform or not. It's important to stick with the facts. Speculations will always be there because not everyone's going to be satisfied with the investigation. There has to be boundaries, morals, ethical morals especially. There has to be respect. There has to be empathy. dealt with these cases. We can't be coming out with things that are not being verified by the law enforcement who is investigating the case, who is under their jury dictionary. That's Lancashire. Grizzly truly clearly said, Grizzly Truly Crime clearly said, she put her opinion there more as facts that everyone's attacking Paul and nobody should be attacking Paul. That's what she said. Paul answered, the partner. Grizzly True Crime, if I can speak for myself freely, I'm not attacking anyone. I just want the truth to come out for Nicola Bulley and for every other victim who deserves the truth. And we expect the information, when we say facts and legit information, it has to come out only from Lancashire Police. You are not the press conference spokesman. You have no right to be misinforming and spreading speculations and rumors as facts. Nicola Bulley's car keys has never been found. We don't know if it was in the jacket or not. It hasn't. The autopsy results and the investigation results hasn't come out yet. It will all come out on the 26th. You can Google that up. Google is the closest thing you can check, and then you can go to the website of Lancashire Police and you can research it more on Sky News, BBC News, mainstream news medias. I have done that for at least 2 hours. And there's no place that it states that Nicola Bulley's car keys was found. Now, to spread such things does not only cause more speculations, it's going to cause more trauma and PTSD for the family. I know many people are upset and say, oh, why are you involved in the Nicola? Why can't you all just stop talking about Nicola Bulley's case? There's a difference about putting out your opinions, stating the facts, making sure the timeline is nothing changed according to how I please, but according to facts that are put out by the press conference. Grizzly True Crime said clearly that she gets her sources from Paul, his male friend. She even said she gets it from Paul. Now, why is Paul, his male friend, and his male friend or female friend having any kind of CCTV footages that are supposed to be clearly evidence? Why hasn't he given it to the law enforcement, the police? And Grizzly said that it's because he gave it to Sky News and all, but he wasn't maybe satisfied or something, or they changed the narrative and they tagged in Emma. Still, it's not Paul, Emma, whoever Sky News is investigation. This investigation is run by Lancashire Police. So all this has to be given to the police first. And the more legit the news is, like Sky News and BBC News, although we may not agree 100% with what they have to say all the time, they are legit news. But when Grizzly True Crime is coming with new CCTV footages that have not been released before, that comes out directly from Paul's evidence kit, that doesn't work. All this has to go, even if he's ruled out or he's not ruled out. He has the right to submit all these evidences and all these footages to Lancashire Police, because that will bring it closer to the truth of what happened to Nicola Bulley on that early morning at the end of January. Because it's very difficult for anyone to believe that somebody can drown in 2 feet to 3 feet of water. It was clearly said 2 feet. 2 feet. They said, law enforcement, the detective Rebecca Smith, I believe her name was, said that the phone moved to the bench. Items just don't move. They don't just walk by themselves. Somebody moved it physically to the bench. So, who were all the dog walkers who were working in that field that day? This is a small village. I'm sure everyone knows each other. Dog, dog walkers and people who jog and train and walk around and jog around, they usually bump into each other. Especially if you have one small community or small village with 700 people, maybe 2,000 people, a couple of thousand people, you would keep an eye for each other. It's like a code. I don't have a dog, so I'm not a dog walker. I have a cat, I love my cat, but I know for a fact I've seen many dog walkers in the park very often, and it's like they're a tight knit community. They know each other. All dog walkers, that's the international code. They look out for danger. Especially, I believe, as a woman, I believe female dog walkers will be more on the watch out, because we've heard so many horrible things that happen in isolated parks or places where people can't hear you, near the river and all, or creeks. So I find it difficult that even the old guy Ron, Penny's brother-in-law, when he said, "Oh, I don't know really if I know Nicola, and but when I saw him, like I saw you, like I know you," he kept on changing that story. The whole thing, it's like he was trying to avoid saying that he knows Nicola, he knows her face, he recognizes the dog. He could have said that out immediately. I think that those are the things that are making the speculation comes, and some of it is not even speculation. It is. Some things are common sense that we cannot avoid. Common sense number one is 2 feet of water. Nobody drowns in 2 feet. Peter Folding was named the faulty guy. Somebody had to be thrown under the bus, but it was very sad. But there's another thing that I've noticed. I've been going back to all the clips of Nicola Bulley from the first day she was reported missing, and I still stand by it. When law and enforcement themselves clearly said, the first press conference, they said that Nicola was seen last at the River Tor, and that was at 9:15. So I personally want to know, when did this timeline change? What happened for them to have changed it to 9:35? And I think that is an important place. I've said that actually. I've noticed that more YouTubers, obviously bigger subscribers than me, that's good, are taking notice to it and talk about it. This is what I said a couple of weeks ago, I believe. And you can check that press conference. The reason I'm playing it again is I played it, actually, I put it on my channel twice, because I need y'all. We all obviously think alike. We've learned one thing in true crime, so that we know of at least, that I've learned in these last couple of years. Follow the timeline and always go back to the beginning, because the beginning will tell you the truth. When things usually happen at the beginning of a case, it's like there will be more truth and lesser lies. But then as the situation gets bigger and becomes more known, then it's like you see people changing their alibis very quickly. And you see that things won't start making sense to you. So for law and enforcement, for the sergeant to stay at the start, she said clearly, 9:15, Nicola Bulley was last seen at 9:50 near the River Tor part. 9:15, that makes more sense. That means something could have happened there, God forbid, because it makes sense because there's no CCTV camera there. Maybe her phone was found and was moved to the bench, because law enforcement clearly said it was moved. You hear all different words about the phone moving to the bench. It's spotted in the bench, it's moved to the bench, it was seen in the bench, it was found near the bench. But something doesn't make sense with this case. So when people that are especially new to my channel, welcome. And honestly, when many people have been asking me, I love questions and I love thinking and exchanging. No, like not actually. Let me correct my words. Not exchanging thoughts, but listening to each other, because we can learn so much from each other. Law enforcement are the most skilled detectives in this case, and they know their area better. I'm not here trying to blame law enforcement at all, but this case from the start wasn't handled with the best cautions, I could say. The bench should have been a crime scene. People shouldn't have been allowed to be sitting there taking pictures. I don't even understand how heartless people can be at times. A crime has just happened, a person is missing, clearly a mother with two small children, and then some people come all the way from different parts of the country to take pictures. That is really sad. That's really sad. And I don't think that the neighbors should be disturbed at all. There's a difference about sitting behind like an armchair and just researching what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. But that's all we can do. But we do it respectfully. But when we go to the stage where we start packing up our stuff and going to Lancashire, packing up our stuff and going to Tennessee or Florida, like the Gabby Petito case, or Tennessee, Summerwell's case, that is wrong. That is wrong. Because we are forgetting the main thing. We are forgetting the main thing. We have a whole community that pays taxes, that live in these places. It's unfortunate that Nicola is missing. It's unfortunate that Summerwells is missing. And I know their communities mourn a lot for them. Sorry about that. But what is sad is when people feel they're entitled or obliged to go to the city or to the village and try and play detective. It's all right sitting and trying to speculate in a mindful and decent way until we get the results without hurting any family or without hurting anyone. And I'm not talking about this case only in general, but I believe when you actually go to the place and start tampering with evidence and start searching for evidence by yourself, that is not right, because that is not going to help to solve the case. And then we won't get justice for people we want to get justice for. In fact, everybody deserves justice. We will never get justice. I do understand law enforcement have a lot on their plate. I do understand law enforcement were informed that Nicola was last seen there. And obviously, things you can imagine must be happening in a rapid speed. She's missing. People are roaming around. The community is helping to find her. Farmers, caravan people, community people. We saw even the people standing on the streets putting out posters for Nicola, and that was lovely. So what I'm trying to say is I'm sure things got missed under the way. And obviously, that's no disrespect, but that's the truth. The bigger the city is, the lesser mistakes, I believe, are made. Because there may be more officers on duty, there are more detectives on the case. But Nicola's case doesn't happen, honestly, everywhere. It doesn't happen often. But it especially doesn't happen in a small, beautiful village of St. Michael's on Wye. So all the social media people who are actually just going there, that is just literally disturbing the family, and that is not right. These people need to grieve in peace. And I wanted to end by finally saying, I was talking about a part where there are many people, actually not many people, there are some people that may disagree in my comment channels, I've noticed, about this case, but rudeness is not accepted. It doesn't hurt to be kind. Like somebody asking me without mentioning names, keep on asking me the same question, repeating it like a stuck record. So what is new with this clip? What are you trying to say? What I'm trying to say is go back to the case from the beginning. You see that the press conference from the day Nicola went missing to up to today is not the same. The timeline is not the same. So if you want to follow along in my small channel, that's what I do. But criticism is really rude because the other people, and I've noticed y'all don't try that on everyone. And let's not do that because I do this for a living. Bullying, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't intimidate me at all. Just that you'll know. Because I'm fed up, I've got some vulgar people passing nasty comments, and that is wrong. That is wrong. Do not do that. We are sitting here, we are discussing about a case, and I believe we all want the same thing. We want justice to be served if there's anything missed out. We want Nicola Bulley's name to be kept alive in a beautiful way so her daughters know that they were loved. So that her daughters know that not every part of media is bad and not everyone in media is bad. I believe whatever happened 10 days before Nicola went missing, whatever happened for law enforcement and the medical team to come at Nicola's property has something to do with her disappearance. And this is my opinion. I believe that even it could be possible that Nicola, I really don't believe Nicola has a drinking problem. Yes, Nicola drinks. That I have to say. Nicola does drink. There's nothing wrong in saying that because we can see with pictures with Emma and Nicola in party, she does have a glass of red wine or white wine in front of her. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's people's choice. But that doesn't make her an alcoholic. And just because she was doing hormone therapy and all that, that shouldn't be out on public TV. Her daughters are females, they're girls. They have to live with that pain and that suffering of losing the mother, the main person in their life. So let's not forget that. So I'm here to get justice for Nicola's name. So I don't care if y'all put comments in my channel. It just shows me, by y'all putting in stupid comments, or ignorant comments, it just shows me that y'all have a deeper issue. That it's not about what we are discussing. It's not about mental health. It's not about mental health and true crime. Some of y'all, especially, they know exactly who talking and going into a person's color or appearance and all is disrespectful. Let's have peace. Let's respect each other. I'm here for Nicola. Nicola was a woman like me. Nicola was a mother like me. And this is what Nicola, I believe, would have done for us too. She would have wanted justice for anyone who did not get their justice. That doesn't mean that there's something, I'm not trying to say that something happened to Nicola, but in fact, yes, I changed my mind. Sorry guys. Sorry. Something did happen to Nicola. Let me change my mind there. Something happened to Nicola because Paul said, he said, something happened here. Something happened here. Something happened here. Someone knows something. Find out what it is. So something could have happened to Nicola. And yes, something has happened to Nicola to be found in water. So yes, something has happened. Because Nicola was not put in water or did not fall in water there. Because 6 hours after Nicola allegedly fell in the water, searches started. Divers went in. The place was 2 feet. Max 3 feet. You can listen to all the clips of all the searchers talking. So for Nicola to have appeared 3.5 weeks later is strange. And I find it strange right after Sky did their timeline, reconstruction of their timeline. They did it on a Friday. On Sunday, Nicola was found. They did it on 17th February, Friday. Nicola was found on the 19th. Very strange for me. I believe somebody was following everything that was happened on the River Wire. I guess the River Wire will carry on the secrets, will know the truth. But I believe Nicola wouldn't have unlived herself. And if Nicola, of course, accidents happen. We agree with law enforcement. Accidents do happen. But if she fell, she would have been found. She would have been unconscious. Nicola was a swimmer, a very good swimmer. And you could see with all of Nicola's pictures that Nicola loved the River Wire like a home. You could see that was a place she was very comfortable in. She was always there with her dog. So imagine If you walk in a certain place every time, or if you go to a certain place every time, like the parks I go to in summer, I would know exactly the in, out, the exit, how to walk, how not to fall. There are creeks there. London has a lot of creeks, just like the River Wye, because all our creeks lead us back to the River Thames in central London. So, of course, River Thames runs behind us. But then it's not so easy to fall. It's not so easy to fall in because everyone knows their steps. Everyone knows not to take a wrong step, otherwise you'll be on the wrong, you'll end up in a wrong situation, in a bad situation. So that is difficult for me to believe. Nicola knew the place like a playground. Nicola was there summer, winter, spring. Look at all of Nicola's pictures. It's all in the river. Look at all of Nicola's pictures at home. How beautiful, how clean her house was. Nicola was a responsible woman working. I'm not saying she may not have had depressions or may have not even gone to a stage where things are a bit rough, that she must have had a couple of drinks, but that doesn't make her alcoholic. I believe something happened, like a third person being involved. I don't know how and I don't know who, but Garsing Road is very important because there's no CCTV camera. And I want to know, why was law and enforcement called at 11 o'clock? Just picture this. You see the person you just walked near in River Wye, in the upper and lower field, an empty, isolated place on one of the coldest days of the year, early in the morning. You see that person, and then later on you come across and you see the person, or you come across, just say you don't even see the person, you come across a person's mobile and the dog running loose. Wouldn't the first right thing to be done, that a mind would say, is call 999 in UK? Call 911? Why aren't they doing that? Why did it become to... Ron said clearly in Sky News, he said, I was calling my wife, and my wife was calling Penny, and Penny was calling, was it her daughter-in-law, to tell her to go tie up the dog? And then they called Paul, and then Paul went to fix his training clothes. And then after Paul was done with his training clothes, he went quickly to the bench. And when he went to the bench, that is the time law enforcement was called. So just say if Nicola really fell in the river, wouldn't one of those people not think immediately of calling law enforcement? Because the police herself said Nicola was last seen at 9:15. 9:15 by the river Tor Park. So I think that has a lot to say. That was the original timeline, and that is the timeline that sticks to me. So I really want to know what happened in the Tor Park. Why was Nicola, if Nicola was last seen there, why wasn't we explained more about that timeline? How did the timeline change to 9:35 is what I want to know. Are people trying to buy more time with the timeline? It's just a question, because every case, the timeline has to, if the timeline is right, and if the CC footages are right, especially if the timeline and the alibi is right, nobody pays attention usually. But when you know that this poor woman was away, when you hear all the stories that this poor woman, Nicola, was a great mother, an excellent mother, you hear from all of the people who knew her. So what happened that day? What went wrong? I'm not bothered about honesty. I'm really not bothered about the CCTV footage. I really believe that is Nicola. Law enforcement had the CCTV footage, so if that was criminal, Emma and Paul allegedly would have been taken for questioning, believe me. But I don't think the CCTV footage has a lot of, for me personally, honestly, I don't think I'm so interested in that one. I'm more interested in the timeline. 9:15, Garston Road. Who saw Nicola at 9:15? Who told law enforcement that Nicola was seen at 9:15? Because I do believe Nicola did actually step out of our house that day. I do believe. Because you can imagine law enforcement will be asking the children's school, the children themselves. They have school counselors there. So the children said, no, it was Auntie Emma who brought us to school. It wasn't Mommy, it was Auntie Emma. Obviously, Auntie Emma would have been in trouble and so would have the others. I don't believe that is. That is Nicola. Maybe it's not from the same day, but it's Nicola on the footage. It is Nicola. Maybe Nicola was running late to dropping off the children, because you can see, one thing I noticed in the footage, although it's only a 10-second footage, you do notice that they're not talking at all. You could see Nicola was literally like, can I just get out of here? I need to go. I need to get out of here, literally. And because you could see Paul, the way he was talking about, like looking down and tucking his children in and on. Obviously, when Grizzly True Crime is saying, there you go, watch, there is Paul that day, it doesn't matter. Paul was there. Of course, Paul's timeline has to be on point, because whatever he told law enforcement, Channel 5 are obliged to ask him to talk about that. So believe me, it's not Paul, and I've never said, people think I'm accusing Paul or Emma. I'm not accusing anyone. I just personally believe something more happened that day. Nicola did not fall in 2 feet water or 3 feet water. And guys, actually, I just smiled because I remembered something important. I'm going to put in a clip for you all that. Let's hope I don't get. I'll try and find a way to put in a clip that you will find very interesting about the River Wye. That's how I know Nicola did not fall in the water. I've been researching it, watching everything about the River Wye. Everything. And it wasn't even floody season. So like Mr. Peter Folding said, he said there wasn't floods. He said, and Nicola's body would have come out by then, within a couple of days. So there's now no floods. It was just a cold day. That day it happened. But the next day you all saw how clear and sunny it was, kind of. There was more light. And I'm trying not to speculate, but something could have clearly happened in the park, in the field, upper field or lower field. Because let's not forget, let's try and be logical here. We keep on hearing that Penny doesn't like, and that's a fact, Penny doesn't like dog walkers, dogs should be on the loose. They have to have the collar on. And allegedly, the tall man in the 70s that was the police were searching for, and his wife came up and said that he saw Nicola for just a little while. They all were talking about what it was said to keep the dogs harness on or their collars on or whatsoever. So did something go wrong there? Did someone get upset with someone? Could someone have fallen? Could someone have hit their head? This is just my speculation, because something happened. There's 3 hypotheses like we always hear. Either she fell into the water, either she unlived herself, or either there's a third party. We know Nicola didn't unlive herself. Still for now, at least. There's so many other, God forbid, there's so many other trigger warning ways to do it. Why go to the river in front of your children's school? Doesn't make sense to me. Third party wasn't considered much too. Every missing person's case should be treated like a crime at the start, until the facts lead you somewhere else. And it wasn't. The place should have been treated like a crime scene, period. People were sitting on the bench. People were traveling from all over the UK to come and take pictures on a poor mother's missing. So even if there was forensic evidence of somebody, God forbid, snatching Nicola, evidence is mixed because people have sat on the bench. People were sitting and eating sandwiches on the bench. But the police should have just locked away that bench. I know it costs us a lot of money and they're taxpayers. I would have closed down half of, or actually most of the parks, kept security day and night on the place. Although there was because of the TikTokers, but I meant even at night to see what happened. Because let's not forget, when Nicola went missing on the 29th, on the Friday, there was no searches conducted till Monday. Imagine that. There was no detective put on the lead till Monday the 30th. Or 29th, 30th. Yeah, Monday the 30th. There was no detective put on the case. The crime scene wasn't put as a crime scene. The tent should have been put on it, or the securities should have been told to guard it. They could have just put on the crime scene tape. They do that daily in London. We know. Like, step away, that's a crime scene, move away. It's sad that the world has come to a stage that police have to tell us human beings, excuse me, this is a crime scene, can you move? Imagine. So what I'm trying to say is a lot has happened in this case, and that's the reason the case is under investigation, and it was Lancashire law enforcement who reported themselves. That's a good thing to the higher investigation team because of the way this case was conducted. But I did a bit of research, and I know that Lancashire police are laying, a couple of years ago, I believe they were laying off people, and yeah, they need more funding, obviously. So not every crime is going to be investigated the way it's supposed to be. It's easier to rule it out as an accident than a third person being involved. And I'm just going according to what Paul said. He said something has happened. Find out what it is. He said he wants every shed to be scrutinized. He wants every outdoor building to be scrutinized. He wants garages to be scrutinized. He said she is not in the river. That he's sure about. She is not in the river. So how was Nicola found in the river? So I agree with Paul over there. Something has happened to her. Something has happened to her, is what he said. Someone knows what happened. Someone knows what happened. Find out what it is. And he repeated each sentence twice. So was he talking to someone specific? Was somebody maybe threatening them to go on? Was something going on that we are not aware of? But he said himself, he said, I told the police, something has happened. Something has happened. Find out what it is. She's not in the shed. She's not in the garage. No, he said, she's not in the river. He said, I want the sheds, the garages, the parkings, and the outdoor buildings to be scrutinized. Why those 4, 5? And strangely enough, you have all those things around. Parkings, outbuildings, sheds. He wants it to be scrutinized. Anyway, I would like to end by asking anyone who views this clip, if you all have heard Nicola Bulley'S keys was found in her jacket obviously on the 19th of February when her body was found, let me know. Because according to Grizzly, True Crime, Gizler K, the keys were found. You can check it. I put in the clip, even if she edits it. And the reason I'm putting it up is I don't care if I get flagged Grizzly True Crime, because this is the second time you're tampering with evidence. The first time is you said that Paul gave it to you. How could Paul give you something that is supposed to be evidence for the crime scene? These are CCTV footages. This case belongs not to YouTube. It doesn't belong to YouTube, Gizlo. We just have an interest on getting the truth out. But this case belongs to Lancashire police. And let them deal with the CCTV footage. Even if Paul's friend gave it to you, how is he having it? He should be considered as a suspect, personally, because how can he have somebody else's home CCTV footage? So, Grizzly K, if you're working with, you said Paul is your sources, that Paul and his male friend are your sources. Please tell them to address all the footages, all the evidence, everything else they have, even if they're ruled out. Give it to the police. They're entitled by law to do that. Anyway, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.